There are moments in life when everything suddenly stops. A car accident on the way home, or walking downstairs to find your basement flooded. In those moments, you're not thinking about insurance. You're thinking about your family and how to get life back to normal. At Curo, we do more than manage claims. We help people move forward. And when something goes wrong, people need more than a process. They need reassurance, clear answers, and someone they can trust.
When something unexpected happens, we're here with expertise and support. Whether it's a home claim, a car accident, or a complex injury case, our role is to guide people through what comes next. It's about helping people feel heard, supported, and confident as they recover.
I remember distinctly buying the property in the fall. Leaves were still on the trees, and that's where we saw the firsthand, the privacy. The trees brought us, believe it or not, those were the drawing cards. So I would say the storm maybe started around the noon hour, and all the trees were swaying. I was in the family room. Rick wasn't here. He'd gone grocery shopping. I heard something hit the roof, and then I heard a bit of a roll. As soon as Rick came in, I said, instead of putting the groceries away, I think maybe you'll want to go up and look in the bedroom.
So I ran upstairs and I said, Carol, a tree is falling on the roof. I said, there's water pouring in. So I knew something had to be done right away, and
That was scary.
that was very scary.
It's over here. It was a conservation area, so therefore we have very old, tall trees, and that's one of the ones that went down. It pierced the ceiling of one of the bedrooms. The water was coming in.
Oh yeah, and
Into
you could
that
see
bedroom.
part of the branches
Yeah.
coming right in the hole that it made.
I decided I better go out and have some idea what happened. Looked up and saw it and thought, oh wow, this definitely is an insurance claim. Something had to be done as fast as possible, and Curo was amazing. Julian Newen called back, and he started the process right away. He sounded very kind and very empathetic. And right away, he said, your home is to look the same it did before this storm ever hit. And if you are not satisfied, we will make it right. We have your back. We have your backs. I want to see Julian. I want to meet Julian.
Hello, come in, come
Rick.
in. Yes, I'm Rick. Julian, it's finally meeting you.
Nice finally to meet you
Heard
as
a lot
well.
about you and your family.
Oh, just a handshake? People buy insurance and hope they never have to use it. That is the plan. When this happened to us, and we were introduced to you, and we were very lucky. I don't know, that was fate.
You know, I like to treat every member as, they're my family members, my mom, my dad. Treat everyone respectively and fairly is the most important kind of approach.
Thanks for everything.
Not a problem.
I'm telling you now, I would not have gotten through that without him. Insurance people have to know how important they are.
Our goal isn't just to resolve a claim, it's to restore peace of mind.
We take care of the claim so people can focus on what matters most.
Behind every claim is a person, and behind that person is Curo. Curo Claim Services, supporting people when they need it most.